Good morning everyone. Now we discuss digestive system of cockroach. Digestive system of cockroach consists of gut, gut also known as alimentary canal, and digestive glands. Digestive glands. Alimentary canal is a long tube-like structure with varied diameter. Alimentary canal is longer than the length of the body. That's why some parts of the alimentary canal is coiled. Alimentary canal of cockroach contain three parts: foregut, midgut, and hindgut. Foregut, also known as stomodium. Foregut, also known as stomodium. Stomodium contain mouth, pharynx, esophagus, crop, gizzard. Esophagus, crop, gizzard. Midgut contain ventriculus, hepatic cache. Hepatic cache. Hindgut, also known as foregut, also known as stomodium. Midgut, also known as mesenteron. Hindgut, also known as proctodium. Hindgut, also known as proctodium. It contains three parts: ileum, colon, rectum. Ileum, colon, and rectum. Foregut and hindgut lined by cuticle. Cuticle is formed from the epidermis. Epidermis is formed from the ectoderm. That means foregut and hindgut derived from germinal layer ectoderm. Ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. These are the three germinal layers. Ectoderm is the first germinal layer, endoderm is the second germinal layer, mesoderm is the third germinal layer. Why they are known as germinal layers? Various organs are developed from these three layers of embryo. That's why they are known as germinal layers. So, digestive system of cockroach contain gut and digestive glands. Gut is longer than the body. That's why some parts of the alimentary canal coiled. It contains three parts: foregut, midgut, hindgut. Foregut, also known as stomodium. Midgut, also known as mesenteron. Hindgut, also known as proctodium. Foregut and hindgut. It is the foregut and it is the hindgut. Foregut and hindgut developed from the germinal layer ectoderm. Midgut is developed from the germinal layer endoderm. Now we discuss various parts of the foregut. Foregut contain mouth. Mouth is an opening, inlet for food. Mouth opens into short, narrow duct known as pharynx. It is present in the head. That's why not visible in the diagram. Pharynx leads into esophagus. Esophagus is long, present in the neck region, thoracic region, in the abdomen. It dilates into crop. Crop is the largest part of the alimentary canal. Most of the food digested in the crop. Most of the food digested in the crop. So, crop of insect comparable to stomach of higher organisms like human being. So, crop is the largest part of alimentary canal. Most of the food digested in the crop. Next one, gizzard. Crop leads into small sac-like structure, gizzard. Gizzard contains 6 teeth. By the action of teeth, food cut into pieces. So mastication, cut the food into smaller particles in the gizzard. Gizzard opens into narrow tube known as ventriculus. Narrow tube known as ventriculus. So gizzard is present before ventriculus. That's why gizzard also known as proventriculus. Pro means in front. Another name of gizzard is proventriculus. Gizzard contains 6 teeth. So 6 teeth-like structure. Each tooth contains several sharp edges. The sharp edges move in opposite direction. Cut the food into small pieces. Between the tooth-like structure, bristles are present. Between the teeth-like structures, bristles are present. The bristles filter the food particles. They allow only fine particles from the gizzard into midgut. So large particles remain on the bristles. Again they subjected to further mastication. In this manner, gizzard act as a filtering grinding mill and sieve. Sieve means filtering apparatus. Grinding mill and sieve. Sieve means filtering apparatus. In kitchen also they use circular filtering apparatus to remove the large or coarse particles in powder, maybe wheat powder or rice powder. They filter the coarse particles. So sieve means filtering apparatus. Gizzard act as a grinding mill, grind the food material. Moreover, sieve, filtering apparatus. Once again, alimentary canal contains 3 parts: foregut, midgut and hindgut. Foregut contains mouth. Mouth is an aperture like our mouth, opening inlet of food. Mouth opens into small duct that is known as pharynx, not visible in the diagram. Why? Pharynx is present in the head. Pharynx leads into esophagus. Esophagus present in the head, neck and thoracic region. In the abdomen it dilates, enlarge into a large sac-like structure known as crop. Crop is the largest part of the alimentary canal. Most of the food digested in the crop. Most of the food digested in the crop. Crop leads into small sac-like structure known as gizzard. Gizzard contains 6 teeth-like structures. Each tooth-like structure contains sharp edges. The sharp edges move in opposite direction and cut the food into small pieces. In this manner, gizzard act as a grinding mill, grind the food material. Between the tooth-like structure, bristles are present. Long hair-like structures known as bristles. The bristles act as a sieve, filtering apparatus. Core particle remain on the bristles. So the bristles allow only fine particles into the next part of the alimentary canal. In this manner, gizzard act as a grinding mill and sieve, filtering apparatus. Foregut and hindgut. It is the hindgut. Foregut and hindgut lined by, internally lined by cuticle. Cuticle is a layer formed from the epidermis. Epidermis is derived from ectoderm. So indirectly the paper setter may ask, foregut of cockroach is derived from ectoderm. Similarly, hindgut of cockroach is also derived from ectoderm. But midgut is lined by endodermal layer. So midgut is derived from second germinal layer, endoderm. On either side of the crop, a pair of salivary glands are present. Salivary glands. Salivary glands present on either side of the crop. Next one, midgut. Why gizzard also known as proventriculus? Gizzard is present in front of the ventriculus. That's why gizzard also known as proventriculus. Posterior part of the gizzard continued as stomodial wall. Stomodial wall. It prevents the backward flow of food from midgut into foregut. Prevent the backward flow of food. Posterior part of gizzard continued as stomodial wall. This wall prevents the backward flow of food from midgut into foregut. Next one is midgut. Midgut also known as mesenteron. Another name of midgut, mesenteron. Mesenteron contains a tubular ventriculus. At the junction of gizzard and ventriculus, 6 to 8 finger-like structures are present known as hepatic CK. 6 to 8 hepatic CK ventriculus together known as midgut or mesenteron. Hepatic CK are blind tube-like structure. The terminal part closed. So these blind tubular structures always open into the ventriculus. What is the function of hepatic CK? Digestion and absorption. Hepatic CK release secretion contain digestive enzymes. So they help in digestion of food and later absorb the digested food material. What is absorption? Transport of digested food material from alimentary canal into blood is known as absorption. So hepatic CK perform digestion and absorption. What is digestion? Conversion of complex, insoluble, non-diffusible substances into simple, soluble, diffusible substances is known as digestion. So hepatic CK help in digestion and absorption. Conversion of, simple definition, conversion of complex, insoluble substances into simple, soluble substances is known as digestion. Transport of digested food from alimentary canal into blood is known as absorption. So hepatic CK help in digestion and absorption. Hepatic CK. 6 to 8 hepatic CK present at the junction of gizzard and ventriculus. They produce digestive enzymes, contain digestive juice, contain digestive enzymes. After digestion, they absorb the digested food. Means after digestion, through hepatic CK, partly the digested food mixes with blood. Next one, ventriculus. Ventriculus is a narrow tube-like structure. Anterior half is secretory, posterior half is absorptive. Means anterior part of the ventriculus release digestive juice, contain digestive enzymes. Posterior part of the ventriculus absorb the digested food. What is absorption? Transport of digested food from alimentary canal into blood is known as absorption. So both hepatic CK ventriculus help in digestion and absorption. Hepatic CK and wall of the ventriculus. Hepatic CK and anterior half of the wall of the ventriculus release digestive enzymes, help in digestion. Hepatic CK and posterior part of the ventriculus absorb the digested food material. At the junction of ventriculus and ileum, sphincter is present. What is a sphincter? Opening guarded by muscle is known as sphincter. Opening guarded by muscle is known as sphincter. What is the use? The muscle maybe closes the opening, responsible for opening of the aperture. Means the sphincter present at the junction of ventriculus and hindgut prevent the backward flow of food. Function of valve and sphincter same. Prevent the backward flow of food. Stomoidal valve prevent the backward flow of food from midgut into foregut, and the sphincter present at the posterior part of ventriculus prevent the backward flow of substances from hindgut into midgut. Once again, midgut also known as mesenteron. Midgut contain a narrow tube ventriculus and 6 to 8 hepatic CK. Hepatic CK ventriculus help in digestion and absorption. Posterior part of ventriculus contain a sphincter. Sphincter means opening guarded by muscle. This sphincter prevent the backward flow of substances from hindgut into midgut. At the junction of ventriculus and hindgut, 6 bundles of yellow colored tubules are present. They are known as Malpighian tubules. They are 100 to 150 in number, arranged in 6 bundles. They are not concerned with digestion. They collect the nitrogenous waste material from the hemocoel, body cavity filled with blood, known as hemocoel. Hemo means blood, coel means cavity. From the hemocoel, Malpighian tubule collect the nitrogenous waste material, release the nitrogenous waste material into the lumen of ileum, cavity of ileum. Lumen means cavity. So, they are responsible for excretion. What is excretion? Elimination of nitrogenous waste material is known as excretion. Why nitrogenous waste materials are formed in animals? Due to oxidation of protein. Why food material undergo oxidation? To obtain energy. Due to oxidation of food only, we get energy. So whenever proteins oxidized, means amino acids oxidized, nitrogenous waste materials are formed. You already know carbohydrate contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, no nitrogen. Similarly, fat also contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. But in case of protein, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. So due to oxidation of protein only, nitrogenous waste materials are formed. So Malpighian tubules are excretory organs. So Malpighian tubules are yellow in color, number 100 to 150, arranged in 6 bundles. They collect the nitrogenous waste material from the hemocoel. Hemocoel. Hem means blood, coel means cavity. Body cavity filled with blood. That's why it is known as hemocoel. So Malpighian tubule collect the nitrogenous waste material from blood and release it into lumen of ileum. Next one, hindgut. Hindgut contain 3 parts: narrow anterior ileum, middle broad colon, and posterior thin wide sac-like structure rectum. Rectum opens out through anus. At the junction of midgut and hindgut, Malpighian tubules are present. We already discussed. Rectum is a thin sac-like structure. The wall of rectum contains 6 longitudinal folds known as rectal papillae. Rectal papillae. Rectal papillae absorb the water present in the nitrogenous waste material, water present in the undigested food material. So this is about hindgut. Hindgut contain 3 parts. Hindgut also known as proctodium. Proctodium contain 3 parts: ileum, colon, rectum. Ileum is the anterior part and it is a narrow part. It leads into colon, wide part. Colon leads into wide sac-like structure, rectum. Rectum contains 6 longitudinal folds known as rectal papillae. Rectal papillae absorb the water present in nitrogenous waste material and undigested food. Rectum finally opens out through anus. We already discussed anus is present just below the 10th tergum. Just below the 10th tergum, anus. So this is about alimentary canal. Digestive glands. Digestive glands. Digestive glands present in the hepatic cache, anterior half of the ventriculus. Salivary glands, a pair of digestive glands. Salivary glands, a pair of salivary glands present one on either side of crop. Digestive glands present in hepatic cache and anterior half of the wall of the ventriculus. Now we discuss salivary glands. Salivary glands, a pair of salivary glands present a pair of salivary glands present one on either side of crop. Each salivary gland contains two parts, salivary receptacle and glandular part. It is the salivary receptacle and glandular part. Glandular part is in the form of two lobes. They are present one on either side of the salivary receptacle. Each glandular part contain several small lobes known as acinus. The cells of acini plural. The cells of acini produce and release salivary juice. The salivary juice temporarily stored in the salivary receptacle. Once again, a pair of salivary glands present one on either side of crop. Each salivary gland contain salivary receptacle and glandular part. Glandular part is in the form of two lobes. They are present one on either side of salivary receptacle. Glandular part contains several small lobes known as acini, singular acinus. The cells of acini produce salivary juice. The salivary juice temporarily stored in the salivary receptacle. From each acinus, small duct arise known as ductules. All the ductules of one glandular part unite, one duct is formed. Similarly, all ductules of another glandular part also unite another duct. These two ducts unite. As a result, common salivary duct is formed. One common salivary duct from one salivary gland, another common salivary duct from another salivary gland. The two common salivary ducts unite. As a result, median salivary duct is formed. From the salivary receptacle, one duct arises, known as receptacular duct. Receptacular duct. The two receptacular ducts unite. Common receptacular duct is formed. Now the median salivary duct unite with common receptacular duct. As a result, afferent salivary duct is formed. The afferent salivary duct open at the base of hypopharynx. Open at the base of hypopharynx. So once again, a pair of salivary glands present one on either side of crop. Each salivary gland contain two parts, salivary receptacle and glandular part. Glandular part is in the form of two lobes, present one on either side of salivary receptacle. The glandular part contain many small lobes. They are known as acini. Each acinus contain cells. These cells release digestive enzymes. From each acinus, small duct arise. All the small ducts of one glandular part unite. One duct is formed. Similarly, all small ducts of another glandular duct unite. Another duct. These two unite. As a result, common salivary duct is formed. The common salivary duct of two salivary glands unite. Median salivary duct is formed. Salivary receptacle contain duct known as receptacular duct. The receptacular duct of one salivary gland united with the receptacular duct of another. As a result, common receptacular duct is formed. The common receptacular duct unite with median salivary duct. As a result, afferent salivary duct is formed. Afferent salivary duct open at the base of hypopharynx. Hypopharynx also known as tongue. So you already know cockroach has biting and chewing type of mouth parts. So it identifies the food material with the help of antennae. The mandible cut the food into small pieces. Later keep the food into the pharynx. So from the pharynx food enter into esophagus. From the esophagus food enter into crop. Crop temporarily store the food material. The digestive enzymes secreted by ventriculus and hepatic CK enter into the crop. Most of the food digested in the crop. Later, from the crop, the food enter into gizzard. You already know gizzard act as a grinding mill. So it converts the food into fine particle. Only fine particles enter into ventriculus. By the action of digestive enzymes of hepatic CK and ventriculus, food is completely digested. So food is completely digested in the crop, partly in the ventriculus. Now most of the food is enter into blood through hepatic CK, posterior part of the ventriculus. Now undigested through aperture from ventriculus enter into hindgut. So in the rectum, the rectal papillae absorb the excess amount of water. Finally, the undigested food material goes out through anus in the form of round pellets. So this is about digestion. Once again, with the help of antennae, identify the food material. Mandibles cut the food into small pieces. The small pieces enter into esophagus via pharynx. From esophagus enter into crop. Food temporarily stored in the crop. You already know the enzymes released by ventriculus and hepatic CK enter into crop. The stomodial wall prevents the backward flow of food material only, not backward flow of enzymes. Most of the food digested in the crop. Later, from the crop gizzard, in the gizzard the food converted into fine particles, enter into the ventriculus. The digestive enzyme secreted by hepatic CK and digestive enzyme secreted by wall of ventriculus digest the food material completely. The digested food enter into blood with the help of hepatic CK and ventriculus. This process is known as absorption. Now ventriculus contain undigested food only. The undigested food from ventriculus enter into hindgut and slowly from ileum enter into colon, from colon into rectum. The rectal papillae absorb the excess amount of water in the undigested food. Finally, the undigested food in the form of round pellets, large solid ball-like structures, so through anus. In this manner, the rectum sent out the undigested food in the form of fecal matter. So this is about digestive system of cockroach.